Now, before I get into this video, I want to say first that this isn't about homosexuality in and of itself. Though it is a bit odd that a child is saying that I used to have gay friends in the Scouts and blah blah. What? How do you know that? You're a child. You don't know anything about sexuality as it is. What are you, like 10? What could you possibly know about sex? A few years ago, you wet the bed every night. How the fuck are you gonna know whether or not your friends or you or anybody else is gay? You don't know what gay is. What I think happened here was that the liberal dad of the son wrote this letter and pretended like it was him. Basically, his son is speaking on behalf of his dad. Anyway, so what this is about isn't even so much whether or not the Scouts have a right to discriminate against homosexuals, people that define themselves as homosexuals, I should say, or anything like that. This has nothing to do with my stance on homosexuality. What it has to do with is, in America specifically, I mean it happens everywhere, but especially America, you do not have rights unless you're part of a gang. That's what it comes down to. If you're not part of the Crips or Bloods, that is your caucus, your rights are not recognized. If you are not the gay caucus, if you are not the Muslim caucus, the Christian caucus, the white caucus, the black caucus, the Hispanic caucus, the gay caucus, I already said that, the women caucus, you get what I'm saying here. I'm repeating myself, but essentially, unless you're part of some group, or you define yourself as some group, you have no rights. You know, look at what I talk about here with the internet. Isn't it kind of, don't you see the hypocrisy in what you're saying when you're like, Scouts should not be able to discriminate against gay people, but then turn around and say, oh, forums have the right to ban you because tis their forum. No, do you not see the underlining principle here? Nobody has the right to do that. And you would think you'd be more upset about moderators doing it than the Scouts, because moderators are just banning people whenever they feel like it, individually. The Scouts just say, no gay people. How would you know they were gay anyway unless they proclaim themselves to be gay? So, I'm not seeing the connection here. I'm not seeing the connection of how you could be so opposed to Scouts discriminating against gay people, but yet you're perfectly fine with moderators just banning whenever the fuck they feel like it, even when it actually hinders your life in some respects, as if with Facebook and YouTube and other prominent websites such as that, or video games that you fucking pay for, but they still feel entitled to banning you from them. You know, it's stupid. It's just complete insanity. And that's why none of you are fucking people. You're fucking stupid as all hell. You're the scums of the earth. Because how can you not see this blatant fact? I just don't understand, because I don't know if anybody's gay. When I go on the street, I don't know they're gay until they proclaim themselves to be gay, or give some kind of hint of it by wearing a rainbow flag and shit. So, how can I discriminate? How can anyone discriminate against gay people? That makes no fucking sense. The only thing you can discriminate is against the idea of gay people. You can only discriminate against the idea of this separate group. And that's partially the fault of the group itself. You have separated yourself. You have distinguished yourself from other people because you have said you are this. You are the gay people. And the straight people are over here. And somehow the straight people are oppressing you, rather than you're just people that happen to like the gay butt sex. So which is it? Are you an individual with your own rights and responsibilities, and you're entitled to dignity and the same rights as everybody else? Or are you a gay person, a separate entity, an entity all your own, part of a superorganism that is the LGBT? That's what it comes down to. You know, as an individual, I have rights. I have rights to freedom of speech. I have rights to privacy. I have rights to all these things. If you want to argue that the Scouts are peering into your personal information and figuring out if somewhere along the way you had a gay experience and then they discriminate against you for that, then you might have a plank to stand on. You might have grounds to actually call them out on it because they're peering into your privacy. But for you to say that they're just discriminating against you because of the idea of being gay, even though neither they nor you can prove any sort of homosexual origin exists, That is not an argument. That is not an actual right. It's just something you made up in your head. You are not Dungeons and Dragons. You are not a level 80 gay wizard with a +4 diplomacy check against the Democratic Party. You're just a fucking person. A person with the same rights as everybody else. And that's what everybody in America has forgotten. Everybody in America defines themselves by their gang colors. Their gang colors of their religion, their race, their sexuality, and everything. Instead of just saying that, no, this is wrong because it would be wrong to do that to anybody. There is no need for compensation of a particular group of people. We want to eliminate that. We want to eliminate the group mentality. We want to eliminate the class struggle. There should not be a difference of one person to another. They should simply be equals under the law and morally speaking. We should be able to look at another individual and just see them as that. Another individual with the same rights as ourselves. They might be, more ignorant, they might be smarter, they might be more talented, they might be better looking, whatever. Those are features. There are features to their, overall character. But it does not negate whatever rights they had, and it doesn't somehow excel them. It doesn't enhance their rights. They're no more entitled to anything else than you are, because you're both just people. You're not a particular group of people. Stop looking at yourself as a corporation. You're the ones always bitching about corporate personhood and things like that. That's what you've done. You've allowed the corporations to become the people, and the people to become the corporations. The government had nothing to do with that. The government had nothing to do with the change in your mentality. You have chosen that for yourself. You have chosen to classify yourselves as this organization rather than as people entitled to certain rights. Whereas the rich and powerful were smart enough to turn their companies into the individual. That way their companies actually had rights and were able to pursue whatever the fuck they wanted. Uninfringed upon, without any kind of government accountability, and things like that. So, if you respect yourself, if you respect other people, then start defining yourself as an individual with individual rights. And you could start by fighting against moderators, because they're the ones that most visibly hinder individual rights. But you're probably not going to. You're just going to continue to talk out your assholes about how, the Scouts are discriminating against gay people, rather than the Scouts are discriminating against people. They're discriminating against people under the pretense that they're gay, but there is no absolute proof that they're gay. There's no absolute way to prove that they're gay. And, unless they admit they're gay, but then why are they admitting they're gay unless they're guilty themselves of classifying themselves as a group as opposed to an individual? I just keep repeating myself here because you people aren't getting it. You dumbasses just fucking don't want to get it, and you want this gang warfare. You want this gang warfare mentality where if we're not wearing the gang colors, we get shot at. And then you wonder why the world's as bad as it is, especially in America. So, give that some thought.